Sometimes when you meet certain people, you recognize there is something special about them. You can't put your finger on it, but you just know. This story starts in late October 2013 when a couple came into the agency to talk about adoption. Their combined passion for music and education, a genuine desire to make a difference in this world, and an incredible love for children, along with an amazing sense of humor, was just the beginning. After completing their home study, they brought us their portfolio to show birth parents, and the front page said it all. The Fournet family routine of 1. Wake up, 2. Be amazing, 3. Go back to bed describes their journey through adoption and how they and their girls live their lives. This is their story.
Hi, we're the Fournets. I'm Elena.
I'm Jacques.
This is Braylon and Emery. When Jacques and I got married, we had a plan. We would have biological children, and then we would adopt children, and then we would become foster parents.
Yeah, we had such a plan. We even named our children before we got married.
That's true.
Which we changed later in honor of their birth mothers.
In an effort to start our family, we decided that we would jump the plan and open up the doors to adoption. And so in trying to decide where we would start, we both had remembered that we saw Adoption Dreams Come True on Mulberry as we were driving for years in Fort Collins. And so we thought we would just pop in there and see what they had to say.
Yeah, I remember what you guys said to us. Like that was awesome, really, because you told us all about you. Adoption Dreams told us all about themselves, and then they, freely said, "Please don't stop here. Please go check out other agencies. Go see what else is out there." And we walked away. We said, anybody that says that knows that they're doing pretty good. I don't know how to say this, but we said, we're not going to go check out other agencies. This one's had all the answers and everything that we needed to hear. And so we never went anywhere else, honestly.
I was in our house, and Jacques was outside doing something in one of our cars, and the phone rang, and when I picked it up, I saw Adoption Dreams Come True. And I was like, why would they be calling? So before I answered it, I ran outside. Jacques, they're calling.
I remember that.
And I said, hello? And my goodness, I can't remember if it was Cindy or Ginger on the phone that said, whoever I was talking to, Cindy or Ginger said, are you sitting down? And I said, no, but I'm outside with Jacques. What's going on? And they said, you've been selected. Once we were going to the hospital with Alicia for her checkups, we were there the first time they were doing an ultrasound. And so we were in the room and getting to see, the image of this baby. And I had a really hard time with that. There I was with Alicia, who was a mother. Right next to us was her 3-year-old son at the time, and he was an amazing little boy. And we could just see what a great mother Alicia was. And so it was the first time for me that it was in my face, what are we doing? Can we really do this? Alicia is just an incredible mother. So how do we fit into this picture? And I kept it together in the hospital. And then as soon as we left, I broke down, and I knew that I would not be able to make it through the rest of my day or maybe the rest of this process. And so I called the agency, and they encouraged me to come in immediately. And I got to just share everything that was going on for me, all the concerns I was having and the doubt and the confusion I was feeling. And they, of course, had seen this before and were able to really help me process all of that, and then also feel really confident about the situation that we were in and what we were doing. Okay, so anyway, we get the call at 5 a.m. Are you ready? Come on down, Alicia's in labor. We knew going into the hospital as Alicia was going into labor that there were some circumstances that would lead to the possibility of the newborn baby going home with Alicia, or she might go home with us. And that would all that all hinged on getting the results of a test. We, at that point, felt like we were just meant to be a part of that process and a part of Alicia's journey and bringing this little one into the world. And it didn't matter so much to us what the outcome was, whether newborn baby would go home with Alicia or would come home with us. We just really felt like, for whatever reason, that we were supposed to be there and getting to spend those first few days in that situation. Just how everyone at the agency at that time, Cindy and Ginger, and as well as our caseworkers that had, really gotten to know us so well, worked to make what could have been a very uncomfortable situation so extremely comfortable and okay. And it just felt like this is what is supposed to be happening. These are how these things go.
Elena and I both have counseling degrees, and I could tell there was a lot of counseling and a lot of support going on throughout the process. And I don't even remember an adoption agency person not being there. I guess maybe in the middle of the night. We, like I had mentioned before, we had picked out names before we ever got married for our children. And Braylon's name was going to be Braylon Aurora Fournet. Aurora is my grandmother's name that is used a lot in our family. And so I remember we went down to eat lunch in the cafeteria, and we were sitting there talking about names, and at that point it had come to I think we had gotten tests back and everything was headed towards Braylon was going to come home with us. And so we were talking about names, and we talked about how she was so wonderful. We wanted to honor her, and so Braylon Aurora turned into Braylon Elise Fournet. I think this is probably true for probably all parents. This was, when it finally came time to leave the hospital, we did all the signing, and we get Braylon in the car, and we're pulling out of the parking lot. We're like, oh my God, like there he is.
Where'd they go?
We're by ourselves. There's a child in the back seat.
We're doing this?
Yeah, we're driving like 20 miles an hour in a 35. That was crazy.
Staying in touch and communicating with Alicia. Which was really important to us. We went in, we loved Adoption Dreams Come True because they facilitate open adoptions. And that's something that we had been really excited about and really hopeful for. And so I feel like the agency really prepared us well for the next step.
Braylon's adoption was finalized in August 10th, 2015, and Jock and Elena decided to continue the process of adoption. In July of 2017, their story continued.
Oh, it was a Wednesday. And we received an email from the agency notifying us of a special situation. And because of the situation, all of the waiting families had the opportunity to opt in or to opt out. And if you opted in, it meant you were interested in being considered for this particular placement. And it was about noon, and I had a meeting that I had to be to at 1. And so I was up in my office, and I saw this email and instantly was like, special situation, no. Like, our life too crazy right now. And I went to reply no, and I just stopped. I was like, oh my goodness, something in me wants me to say yes.
I said, we've already talked about this, and so let's do it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he looked up and he opened his arms and he said, bring them all.
Bring them all.
So another time for us with the agency, with Adoption Dreams Come True, facilitating another really unique, unexpected situation.
Yeah.
And again, just helping us walk through all of the steps of it. When Emery was born, she was in the NICU. And so the agency was just helping us to interact with the nurses in the NICU and the doctors and get the information that we needed. And adoption is also different, right? And so the way that that can be handled and perceived can always be a little bit different. And so the agency is just so great about making sure to educate everybody involved of what's going on and how to handle the situation to make it really feel comfortable. And make, our first days with this new baby just really peaceful. And so later that evening, they had been talking to Dina, who had expressed interest in coming in to get to see Emery again, and then had interest in getting to meet us, which we didn't know at first if that was going to happen or not. So we were just really excited when Dina chose to come in and get to know us, and so that we could get to know her. And one of the nurses came in and said, Dina and her friends are here. They said that they could come in and see Emery again. And I said, yeah. And she said, I can have them go away. She's just being really protective. We're tired and being up with Emery through the night. And said, I can have them go away. And I was like, no,
let them in.
Let them in. And we just loved that we had that time where they would come in, Dina and her brother, just, having that time, holding Emery, just really.
Yeah. Doctor came in on the third day and was almost, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but she was almost like, wow, this is a whole different baby than she was 3 days ago. So Emery did really well. She's a little fighter. And then again, at some point, they were like, okay, you guys go home. And we came home, family of 4.
Yeah, I'm Dina, Emery's mom.
Yeah.
Okay. So after we brought Emery home, we were really excited when Dina kept in touch. Elena's really good at reaching out and staying. I hope that you find that she's always open to hearing from you and from Alicia, and I'm real proud of Elena for that. And Dina responded, you responded, and we got together probably, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 3 times in the first
yeah,
2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually you came over and watched a little football
Yeah.
with Emery, and every time you always wanted to hold her and interact with her, and that was fun. You've kind of cool that you've been seeing her. I don't know, it's cool for us that you've been seeing her grow up a little bit. We didn't tell this part of the story, but it also happened the same way. We got to spend a little bit of time with Dina in the hospital and got to talk with her a little bit. They wouldn't just come and be there for 10 minutes. They'd come and stay for 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, and that was really nice because we were getting to know them, and then we came to the same conclusion. We had Emery's name picked out. It was going to be Emery Colleen, right? Emery Colleen Fournet. And so at one point we were like, Dina's awesome, and it looks like, it seemed like you were really just willing to be involved in all this. So we said, let's change the name. So her name, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her name is Emery Ward. Emery Ward Fournet. And I think that's a great.
Wardina.
Yeah, because of your name, Wardina.
Well, it was a very, very scary experience, and I was very sad that I was so far away from home, because I definitely would have called my mom. And but I had my brother there and my best friend Sarah, and having them there, it helped, but I was still very scared. But it was really nice to have Ginger and Cindy there, because they actually talked me through a lot of it, and that helped me to not be so terrified. And I think I actually asked for you guys to be in the room with me, and
During the birth?
yeah, and you were complete strangers, but for some reason you didn't seem like strangers at all. I felt really comfortable with you from the start. I really appreciated you guys being there, or else I don't know what I would have done. I definitely would have felt very lost and very confused, but thank you. You really helped me. One of the main things that stands out to me is you and Ginger either just constantly calling or texting or coming into my room, and I remember just being so exhausted and so tired, but feeling so happy when you guys came in the room that tried to stay awake so I could talk to you. I was really, really worried that down the road I would feel like I was making a mistake. But you talked to me about other times where mothers felt that way. I think you guys are just the perfect family, and that makes me really, really happy.
Yeah, our hope with both birth mothers is that in whatever way they choose, they're going to be part of our girls' lives forever. So,
Yeah.
My hope is that they're really proud of the decision that they made.
yeah.